Uprising up against the Island Breeze, and Uprising, the other hosts, you could say, they're on the green, instantly on the left, up against Island Breeze. Island Breeze on the right. They're a team who conceded the biggest score margin so far, 40 points to nil, against Red Rock, who created the biggest, well, the continuing upsets of this tournament here. They defeated Samoa just moments ago. So as they run out, questions as to what Island Breeze can offer in this game. Can they break their scoreless drought that we've seen in the tournament? They played only one game so far, 40 points to nil. That was their scoreline against Red Rock. Uprising, on the other hand, they're the team that's been together for 3 years now under the guidance of Rene Munch. And looks like they've finally reaped the rewards of their tours overseas and back. And they defeated Samoa Invitation 19 points to 7. There's the referee, the man in the middle, but more important for that young man, a former international secondary school student in Lodala Beach in Nasinu, Rene Munch. He's also a youngster just from Pacific Harbour. He was born and raised, he was born in Pacific Harbour, but he's raised in Tailevu, and he has a heart for good development rugby. So it's Island Breeze, who haven't scored a try so far in this tournament, will kick off this game here, and what a very crucial one for them. Uprising, if they win this game, they're going to play Red Rock, rather, they're going to play one more game, that's correct, Red Rock, later this afternoon to decide who's going to come out in the top of their Pool B into the quarterfinals. So the first break of this game, Uprising. Here's some youngster that a lot of spoke about, Laisiasa Donge, bursting of speeds. There's Laisiasa, one of the many players who live pretty much around Uprising Resort. That's a good 45 minutes drive outside the capital. So the first throw in, Island Breeze, Aletini Timilai. Island Breeze is pretty much a church group from Brisbane in Australia. They really found it tough so far, and Uprising beaming off that victory against Samoa, and they'll get the first winning try of this game. Malelimbula, he goes over for the first try. Samoa 5 points to nil. Now it was from broken play really, taken up the front. Malakai Sebundrendre, the support from Malelimbula, no problem about it. 5 points to nil. Uprising, they have that sense that they can actually do something special here. Last year in the inaugural Uprising International 7's, they did play at this tournament, but whatever they did fell short. I guess now they're picking now, and they're maturing together as a team, as a unit. The conversion is good. And Uprising leads 7 points to nil. Right on the restart, that's way short of the 10. And Island Breeze will take it just on halfway. So some breathing space that they needed. That was from Aporosa Torda. So the quick tap, Mini Veriakula. Out wide, Sowani Saunitonga. And look at the size of the big man in number 13. That's their promising winger. Well, I haven't got the number 13 jersey on the team list. Nevertheless, that's fine. We'll still make do as Island Breeze. Chimilai, Aletini opts for the short side. They're not opening up, knowing that Uprising can always counter on loose ball play. Mini Veriakula in number 8. Sawe Vuso. Island Breeze playing very tight. So it's just the start, stop that they're doing. They don't want to open up the ball at all after seeing that first try of the game. Island Breeze. So Sawe over the 22, but they've knocked it on. So Uprising with that 19 points to 7 upset victory over Samoa Invitational. That's definitely put them right up there with all the teams that are likely to come back for the Cup quarterfinals tomorrow. Sawe Vuso of Island Breeze. That has been the trend with teams that newcomers into this tournament of Uprising International 7's. They feel the big difference, big difference that we've seen so far. Uprising. And they've just ran themselves out of space. That was from number 10. Yes, it is. It's in fact number 13, which I don't have his jersey number, but he's been a handful so far, even up against Samoa Invitational. Very hard man to stop. He's one of the youngest in this team, just 20 years of age. Chimilai Aletini to throw in. Well, he's delayed the throw in, but once again, this is how Uprising got their try the last time when they counter-attacked it from loose ball play from Island Breeze. And here's the youngster that we spoke about that shows how big he is. He just takes it in his strides and he takes one hand and gallops away for Uprising's second try of the game. 12 points to nil, but he's feel like he's got a problem with his knee. Well, he's a hurt boy right now, but here's the throw again. It's a repeat, and it seems like Island Breeze do not learn their lesson as quick as they're supposed to. The first try they conceded was exact same thing. Was from a line-out throw. Second time around, it's as though Uprising felt. Now watch the landing here. Oh, that's what happened. He planted his knee, then the weight of his body went down on his waist and so to his back. That's a sigh of relief for Rene Munch. The conversion has missed, so the score remains 12 points to nil. And this try scorer here, apologies to him that I don't have his name on our team list, but he's one of the many players also in the Uprising 7's team that is toured to the Byron Bay 7's. That was the first overseas tournament that they've got familiar with. Then they've gone up as far as the UK also. And it's taken over 3 years for them to build up what they've come to be this day. Malelimbula. Penalty. Less than a minute now remaining and 2 tries already for Uprising. A win here will put them into the Cup quarterfinal. They surely return tomorrow, but it's just a matter of who they will play. And here's the youngster again, back-to-back tries. That's Laisiasa Thonge. Opening up the leads. Uprising now in cruise control. They're very comfortable after defeating Samoa. And it's just step past one again. And the second one, no problem at all. Uprising 17. Island Breeze nil. So the conversion's gone over. It'll be 19 points to nil. And at halftime, it's Uprising leading 17 points to nil. The question for Island Breeze in the second half is, can they at least score a try in this tournament, which they feel that they have not prepared quite so well for, like the other teams.
Between the corporate booth and the grandstand, so if you want to have a few drinks, do visit the Traps bar, but please don't drink and drive. Also, there's food stands just a few meters away from the grandstand, so if you're feeling hungry, you can visit these food stands.
And see the gaps. The depth is perfect, perfect. Don't change anything. 1 more minute or change now. You saw now? Okay, same as before. Male, on. Mala, you stay on the wing though. Wise, I think you come off now, and we put Iggy on for a bit. Okay, boys, now see. We've made changes. Don't let this drop your tempo. Eh? I don't want to see you now not scoring tries. I want some water. Everyone is ready. We make some changes.
Don't let this drop your tempo. That's the advice from Rene Munch. And even if he could, he would speak to them in a clear Fiji Islander language, because he's very good at that also. And there is that player, Avinisi Wasui Numbu. We've just confirmed that from our runner that has just done a great job there. But Ignacio Martin is in number 1. He's their French inclusion into this team. And he was quite busy on the defensive end against Samoa. So on the restart again, well, that's happened a bit, I guess, too many times in this day 1 so far. Teams getting casual and getting carried away with their lead. And that was a poor start. And as Rene Moon said during that halftime break, he said, it's your perfect where you are right now. Don't let anything spoil your tempo. Island Breeze, they've conceded more than a dozen tries, 40 points to 0 in their first game, and in the second one again. It's becoming all so difficult for them. An intercept from Lazaro to Rangandrau. That shows the presence of mind of this Uprising team. 4 tries in the first half, and the second one came so easily. That's what happens when you do the right things the right way. Watch that pass. That was a gambling pass, and it was unfortunate that number 5, Hinia Ratu, was at the end of it. But there was no problems at all for this man, Lazaro to Rangandrau, running in under the sticks for the second try. 24 points to 0. Uprising making the work so much harder for Island Breeze, one of the overseas teams shell-shocked right here in the Uprising International 7's Festival. On the restart, there's Ignacio Martin in number 1. He's got the ball. Well, he's passed it off to Malili Mbula. Well, in fact, it's actually a knock-on. So Uprising, they already scored 5 tries already. Aparosa Torda will feed in the scrum right inside the 22, but they've made some substitutions already. They've made 3 substitutions right at the break. Still 4.5 minutes remaining here in the second half. Still a lot of time for Island Breeze, but cohesion, that's something that's totally against him. It's pretty much the same thing as another team, URF International, saw in earlier games. How much in 1 year the level of competition in the Uprising International 7's Festival has changed so much. The feed in Island Breeze, but the counter scrum very strong from Uprising. Where's the ball there? He's knocked on once again, so Uprising will get the scrum feeding. They need to steady their scrum to allow the back line to move. Ignacio Martin sees in the front row, but another substitution for Uprising. We'll confirm in a bit. But there's Ignacio Martin is on the left-hand side of the scrum. Apakuki, Tuitavua. Well, very quickly again. Family legacy, a lot to play for. And Apakuki Tuitavua, also a very good volleyball player in his own rights. That's his hobby. but it goes over for their 6th try of this game. Uprising, making it look so easy. There he goes. Apukuki Tuitavua. He used to play for the Knights when he was just a newcomer, when the Colonial Cup used to exist. Then he played for Serevi's team at the Coral Coast 7's. He's pretty much a traveler in 7's rugby, but I guess this is where he fits the most. Uprising 7's. That try goes over. It's 29 points to nil. Then the conversion, so it's 31 points to nil. 6th try of the game. Island Breeze, they're almost so certainly writing down their mark as the most struggling team of this entire tournament. Martin was in it. There's Ignacio Martin again in the traffic. Kunro Kalo. It's still with Island Breeze, but they're stuck. But here's Tuitavua once again. They got heaps of numbers right towards the right. A lot of numbers there. Support. One more to go. And that'll be try number 7. So that's 36 points to nil. Uprising, they can now confirm their place in the Cup quarter-final for tomorrow. They will return in the Cup quarter-final, but it's a bigger game up against Red Rock as to who goes in as the top. That's important because when you go in as top from a pool, you will play the runner-up in the other pool. So that's important, the result against Red Rock later this afternoon. The conversion counts 38 points to nil. And so far the biggest score margin was 40 points to nil in day 1 of the Uprising International 7's Festival. And it's sad to say it was against Island Breeze, this very same team playing up against on the left. And possibly would be something for the organizers to look into to make sure that we've got stronger teams coming into this tournament to make sure that the score lines is not as such as this. Because it's like they're playing tennis, but one player came without a racket. Island Breeze, that's the most facets of play that they've had, the furthest that they've come out. That's better from them, Island Breeze. This is the promise that a lot have looked forward to, but it's taken a long while to happen. Time would be up on the clock by now. Steven Veracula. Knocked on once again. Defensive effort, excellent from Uprising. They haven't conceded any try for the last 14 minutes. As the hooter sounds, this will, well, it won't be the biggest score margin so far, but for Island Breeze, they've instantly felt what kind of tournament they've gotten themselves into, because they've conceded by now 78 unanswered points in this tournament. Well, and at that, Uprising will kick the ball out. Rene Munch surely will be happy about that. Through to the Cup quarterfinals with a crunch game against Red Rock later to come. But Uprising, in their 2nd victory of day 1, they've crushed Island Breeze 38 points to nil.